For more now on this case, we bring in writer and activist Shaun King, who's now working with Ahmaud's family. Shaun, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
So, Shaun, you're one of the reasons that Ahmaud's killing is now getting all this national attention. Someone anonymously sent you that graphic video you posted online just a day ago, already nearly 2 million viewers. How did that video change this entire case? Well,
when you describe in words what's happening in a case of violence, be it police brutality or a white supremacist attack, if you just describe in words, it's one thing. But when you see the video, it brings color, shape, nuance. It made real the story that we had been telling. And when Lee Merritt, the family attorney, and I first received that video, it was not only more painful to watch it than we had anticipated. It was even worse than we had imagined. I knew it would be horrible, but seeing it, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
And this video has a lot of information. You say that you've tried to kind of divorce your emotions from it. What does the video tell you?
Well, it tells me a lot of things. I think Ahmaud appears to be blocked off from being able to run on the road, and he seemed to be frightened. Obviously, there are men with guns out. These men are strangers to him. They are yelling at him and pointing guns at him. And it appears to me in that moment that he felt like he had to fight for his life to get away. And I can only imagine exactly what was going through his mind as he's running down, and these men have blocked the road off and are armed with their guns out.
It seems like whoever's shooting the video was a part of this whole thing, right? Because they're already recording when they arrive at the scene. I'm just trying to get an understanding of who may have anonymously sent you the video, because it doesn't appear that it would have been somebody who was implicated in this act.
No, we definitely don't believe the person who filmed the video sent it. The police report does allude to there being a third person, a friend of Gregory and Travis McMichael, on the scene. It's our belief that the person who filmed the video and is driving another vehicle there behind Ahmaud, we feel like Ahmaud may have even felt like he was being chased by this additional vehicle from behind. And at the end of the video, rather, if you listen carefully, you can hear that person cock a gun as well. And so it appears that person was armed. It's our best guess that somebody either from the local police department or the local prosecutor's office leaked that video.
I just want to confirm that we don't have that confirmed, that the local police or prosecutor's office ever had that video in their possession. But just want to go back to the idea that you said that this is one of the worst things that you've ever seen. What was your immediate thought when you first saw the video?
When I first saw it, I had just gotten out of a staff meeting, and Lee Merritt, the family attorney, had called me multiple times during the staff meeting and texted me multiple times. And when I opened up the file, it was so jarring and so awful that I had to fight back tears in that moment. I have studied, even for a living, I've written over 1,000 stories that have violence at their center, be it police brutality or something else. I've studied videos like this, and right away I just knew it was one of the worst things I'd ever seen. I just had to fight back a lot of emotion, and Lee and I felt right away that we needed to share it publicly, not because we wanted to. I even posted on social media that I didn't want to post this, that it's a horrible thing to have to share, but we felt like not that the public needed to see it, but that the weight of it needed to be out there for us to get the movement that we needed. And sure enough, within 24 hours of releasing the video, we learned that the FBI is involved with the case. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations has now asked to be involved. So we're starting, the governor and attorney general of Georgia now spoke out about it this was 3 months ago. And within 10 hours of me releasing the video, all of a sudden we start to get movement.
Gregory and Travis McMichael have not been arrested. Do you think that they should have been?
Oh, yeah, they should have been arrested that day.
And why do you think that they haven't been?
Well, I think there are a couple very clear reasons, and I understand it. It's a true conflict of interest. Gregory McMichael was a retired police officer in that county, and he worked for nearly an entire generation, almost 30 years, as an investigator in the local prosecutor's office. This is a small town, and in that town, Gregory McMichael, his son Travis, his entire family were beloved figures in that law enforcement community. And so they were quick to believe anything he told them and very slow to arrest him or prosecute him. That's why the first prosecutor's office had to recuse themselves. The second prosecutor's office had to recuse themselves. And now they kind of passed the buck to a third prosecutor. But even then, it's still kind of local. It's still in South Georgia.
We have seen some protests over this killing. How do you feel about that? And do you want people taking to the streets right now, especially in Black and brown communities, which are disproportionately affected, as we know, by COVID-19?
Yeah, I'm deeply convicted. I'm rather conflicted about it. It's hard to see people protesting. We know that they're trying to socially distance themselves. It's hard to do it. It's not a natural behavior. I'm proud of everybody that's out there protesting and demonstrating in Brunswick, in Atlanta, in Savannah, and elsewhere. But we definitely want everybody to stay safe. And so it makes it really difficult for us to organize in traditional ways when we know that the coronavirus could spread in those traditional ways. So we're trying to be careful. We're letting people make their own decisions. People are trying to socially distance themselves. We see some people wearing masks and gloves. But those restrictions have already really been eased in Georgia. And so culturally, people in Georgia are not necessarily wearing masks like we would see back in New York.
Joe Biden tweeted that the video makes, quote, clear that Ahmaud was killed in cold blood. In your mind, is there anything at all outstanding that still needs to be determined, or have you already concluded 100% this was cold-blooded murder and there's no other explanation?
Oh, yeah. After seeing the video, I don't think there's any wiggle room that it was cold-blooded murder. And so in that respect, anybody who sees it and makes that conclusion, I agree with that. It's a horrible, painful moment. I would put it on par with Emmett Till or other cases of racial violence that we've seen in this country. It's a low moment for our entire country. We're hoping that officials in Georgia stand for justice and do right, not just by the family of Ahmaud Arbery, but by everybody in the state that's outraged, everybody in the world. This case has really started to get international attention at this point.
Shaun King, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.